So it's February 2018, and I'm very excited to share with you the fossil of the month I'll be sending out to the Patreon supporters that have contributed at the Allosaurus level. So those of you who've contributed, thank you very much for your support in keeping my YouTube channel alive. And I'm very excited about this fossil. So I was thinking about what fossil to send out for the first month, and we just recently celebrated the Chinese New Year, and according to the Chinese zodiac, this is the year of the dog. So I thought it would be appropriate to send a fossil dog out as the first fossil to send out. And this is Hesperocyon. Hesperocyon is a late Eocene fossil from North America. I have found specimens of Hesperocyon in Colorado. It could be found in Utah. There's no occurrences of Hesperocyon in Utah, but it's found in Colorado, Wyoming, Nebraska, South Dakota, in a layer of rocks called the White River Formation, which is the latest Eocene. It's placed in a land mammal age called the Chadronian, named after Chadron, Nebraska. Now, Hesperocyon is really kind of a unique little fossil here. It's about the size of a very small dog or fox, a little bit bigger than a weasel. And it first appears in the fossil record at the end of the Eocene. Now, running alongside Hesperocyon during the end of the Eocene were creodonts. In fact, the creodonts had gotten quite large and were sort of the big carnivorous mammals of that time period. And the creodonts would eventually become extinct at the end of the Eocene. And Hesperocyon survived and, of course, evolved into not only dogs, man's best friend, but also foxes and wolves and other canids, a pretty diverse family that we have today. Now, at the end of the Eocene, these guys were the first of a group of true carnivores that came out of the trees. In the early Eocene, there were carnivores, true carnivores, meaning that unlike the hyenodont creodonts, they had one carnassial, only one carnassial. And they lived in the trees. They fed on lizards and eggs, whatever they could find in the trees, little carnivores in the trees. And they sort of avoided the ground because there were other carnivorous mammals on the ground that were running. In the early Eocene, you had the mesonychids, you had the oxyhenodon creodonts, and the hyenodon creodonts. Now, Hesperocyon was not a tree-dwelling carnivore. It came down from the trees and was a cursorial animal. Its skeleton shows that it was a running little carnivore, much like you see with today's little coyotes that run around. A little bit smaller than a coyote, though, but more like a fox or a Cape fox. And by living on the ground and being fairly quick and swift, and getting away from the trees, Hesperocyon was destined for success because at the end of the Eocene, the climate got very cold with the beginning of the ice ages. So going into the Oligocene, all the creodonts had died out, and Hesperocyon was able to sort of inherit that carnivorous niche in mammalian communities and did quite successfully. And the canid family very diversified quite a bit during the Oligocene and up to the modern age, starting around 32 million years ago. Now, this particular fossil I haven't found. I found some specimens in Colorado, really nice ones, but this is such a cool fossil cast that I'm going to be sending out. I'm also going to send out a monograph talking about these fossils so you can read a little bit more about how very cool this fossil is of Hesperocyon. So thank you again for all your support, and I look forward to seeing you again next month.